Hey guys, this is Samantha from She's Not Broken, and this is my blog entry for Mama Cat's Writers Workshop, and it's all about my blog title and how my blog came to be. As you guys know, my blog is She's Not Broken, She's Just a Baby, and it's a lyric from Lady Gaga's Alejandro. I listened to Lady Gaga a lot with Calico, especially when she had first come home. Even in utero, she actually, that and Alice Cooper were two of the things that always got her kicking. And the first 3 weeks she was home were great because my husband was home, and this is my husband's second child, and he was great with her. I did nothing besides pump. Unfortunately, that meant when he went back to work, she was all looking at me like, hey, it's not happening. I want daddy. And of course, I was thinking, yeah, I want daddy too, but he's not going to be home for another 10 hours. There were a lot of tears involved on both ends. So I would put Lady Gaga on to kind of quiet her down. And at one point, she was screaming and howling and shaking her angry little red fists and wiggling, and I was listening to Gaga while I was trying to convince her to nurse because she was hungry, and she was all, dude, these aren't the boobies I'm used to. She she wanted the bottle, and it just struck me as I was looking at her that wow, I broke this baby. That wasn't obviously how the lyric was meant or even how it was even sung, but I was convinced I'd broken this baby, and it seemed like a good thing to call my blog, because then I realized sort of, well, she isn't actually broken. She is a baby, and babies just sort of do that. And that kind of seeped into my postpartum depression, which I was unknowingly developing very seriously at that point. I was convinced I was being a baby about everything, because when I was sort of half-assedly asking for help from people. A lot of people in my personal life before I got the diagnosis, and before they actually really had a chance, if they weren't spending a lot of time with me, I was pretty good about pulling it together in public on a semi-regular basis. So I got a lot of, well, motherhood is tough, you knew this when you signed up for it, suck it up, buttercup, comments towards everything. And it kind of became convincing myself that I wasn't broken, that I could do this, that I could be a mother to Calico, and we could kind of grow together. It was a tough transition. I ended up buying the domain name because I couldn't figure out how to get my blog onto freshsamantha.org, which is my personal website that I'm still working on. I started the blog because I wanted this cute little diary of my pregnancy and belly photos and all the other neat little things like decorating her nursery that I envisioned doing, except God laughs when man makes plans. And at 6 weeks, I developed a I started bleeding. I had a subchorionic hematoma, and that kind of kicked me onto partial bed rest. And from there, I had problems with my SI joint that I was in physical therapy up until literally the week before I had her, trying to keep it from really popping out too much. And decorating her nursery turned into Project Fail, which was my big panic attack about, oh my god, I have to have a bathtub. You can't have a baby and not have a bathtub, which is really funny because actually Miss Pickles hates baths. Calico mostly has to be showered because she screams in the bathtub. But I needed a bathtub. I was convinced I couldn't have a baby without a bathtub. I also was convinced that I was going to have this awesome labor, and I was going to labor at home before I went to the hospital, and I was going to be in my bathtub, and it was going to be this great, wonderful thing, which also didn't happen because I never went into actual labor. My water just broke. And it is kind of a neat document of how Project Fail went, which was my father coming down, me calling him and going, "Dad, build me a bathroom," because at that point we had a shower and a half bath, so just a shower stall. And it turned into redoing my kitchen and building a totally different room for the baby and putting in a breezeway, removing an oil tank, all kinds of ridiculous things that didn't need to happen. The breezeway actually was finished 36 hours before my water broke, which was kind of funny. Project Fail continues to this day. I put in a new dishwasher last weekend. But I guess what the blog became unintentionally was what pregnancy really was for me. It wasn't this awesome, wonderful, I am growing a life thing. It was this, I'm huge, I can't go anywhere, I can't lift anything over 10 pounds, I'm in constant pain, I can't go anywhere because I can't spend more than 10 minutes in the car, and oh my god, there's construction happening everywhere, and I'm so tired of construction thing. It was it ended up being a very much more realistic portrait than I had in my head when I started it. I guess that's probably about the story of it. I'm not very good at vlog entries. I kind of ramble, although this is sort of how I am regularly as well. Hopefully it answers some questions about why the blog was called that, and I guess if there's interest, I'll do a follow-up answering questions. Maybe I'll do another vlog. Or maybe I'll never do another vlog again because this will be a terrible experiment. But yeah, so in summary, that's it. She's not broken, she's just a baby. Lady Gaga lyric. Totally me trying to convince myself that I wasn't broken with the postpartum and that I was really okay to be a mom, which I'm slowly getting used to the thought. Although some days I still want to sell her to the gypsies. Today was one of them. And I'm getting to do this now because everyone's gone to bed, including the cat behind me. And Stephen and the baby finally went to bed now, which means she's going to be up probably 98% of the night pestering boobies. But now I've disturbed the cat. So that's, yeah. And She's Not Broken kind of continues because some days I still feel like, okay, well, am I really not broken? Or am I doing the right thing? So thanks for putting up with this long rambling story, and hope to hear from you guys in comments. Have a good night.